Hi everybody, Dr. Dan Lawrence here. I wanted to make a quick video about MLA tips and tricks and just overview of what's going on with MLA and why I'm using it and all of that. So MLA, Modern Language Association Style Guide. It's a set of rules and protocols for how to format your papers. It's really useful to learn how to apply a style guide. If you're a professional writer, you might have to use a style guide at work. I mean, Chicago Manual of Style. When I worked in marketing, I had the big copy of Chicago, the Chicago style guide sitting there on my desk because you reference that a lot. Or you might use IEEE if you're in engineering or doing technical writing. You might use APA if you work in the sciences. Um, so it's good to learn how to use a style guide, and that's why we ask you to use MLA in humanities courses. MLA is used, throughout the U.S. and beyond in humanities courses as the kind of default formatting. And even when you send out, if you send out a manuscript, like a short story or something to a publisher, you're going to be expected to put that in MLA. So widely used in the writing world, style guides. So, in all my classes, I see a lot of problems with that, though. I think, maybe it's been a few years since you used MLA. Maybe you never learned it. So that's okay. But you've got to figure it out, and we're here to help you with that. My number one tip would be look at a sample, and that's gonna be in Canvas for you. Look at a sample MLA paper and just visually compare it. Like, look, there's 1 inch margins all the way around. There's a running header with your last name and the page number in the top right corner of every page, and that's 1/2 inch from the edge of the page at the top. The first page has an informational header with your name and your professor's name and the date and the course and all that in a specific order, right? At the top, there's always a title, and it should be a specific and detailed title that tells the reader what's included in the paper. It's double spaced from top to bottom. If you reference anything, paraphrase, quotation, you have to have an in-text parenthetical citation, with your parentheses. And depending on the medium of what you're quoting or referencing, that can change a little bit. You have to look all that up, right? It would take me too much time here to go through it all, but like if it's a book with a single author, last name and page number goes inside the parentheses. If it's a peer-reviewed research article with multiple authors, then that's going to change in terms of what you have to put in there. What if it doesn't have page numbers? What if you don't know the author what if there's no listed author for the web article you're citing or something like that? Those are all questions that you'll have to use a reference manual. We use the Little Seagull handbook. I don't think I have a copy here at home right now to show you, but we use the Little Seagull handbook. That's kind of our general recommendation. You can pick up a copy of that if that's helpful. Or you can use OWL Purdue, owl.purdue.edu. That's the online writing lab at Purdue, and that's a huge web-based MLA resource that you can reference. And those are some really useful resources for you to get acquainted with MLA and looking at sample papers. So my number one tip is like just look at a sample paper of MLA and kind of visually compare your formatting to that and make sure you're matching the general. I want MLA. I want your papers and your assignments to generally look like they're in MLA format. I'm not going to get really, really nitty gritty, down to the finest detail, but I want to just see that it looks like MLA. You're getting the hang of it, and you're constantly improving and getting the general sense of it. You have a works cited page, and your works cited page is double spaced, and you're using hanging indents in the works cited page. It visually should look like MLA. The other thing I see is too much space between paragraphs. So if you're using Microsoft Word, go into your paragraph settings and remove the before and after paragraph spacing. That's a default setting in Microsoft Word. So reset your default. Set your before and after paragraph spacing to 0, and then set that as your new default so you don't have to worry about it. It should be consistently double spaced. There shouldn't be extra space above and below a title, shouldn't be extra space between paragraphs. It should be every space between every line should be consistent throughout the whole document. That's what MLA looks like. Okay, my second major tip then is take advantage of our writing center. We have online and in-person appointments at the UWS Writing Center. You can work one-on-one with a dedicated writing coach, and they know their stuff. They know MLA. They know how to chat with you and, have some fun while you're going through your paper. They can give you tips and advice. Anything from, signal phrases and integrating your quotations to adjusting your formatting to, anything, any little detail that you have questions about, they can help you. And you can take a paper that you're working on and work with a coach one-on-one, virtually, online, or in person. So that's a huge resource that's free, that's available to all our students. Take advantage of that. And then the third thing I think I would recommend is just making sure you're following a process, right? You're a writer. Writers have a process. We've been teaching this for decades. It's a best practice in writing is to write with a process. So there's pre-writing, drafting, revision, and editing. That's the kind of key. That's the core process as a writer. So pre-writing is your research. Maybe you take some notes, bullets. You gather all your stuff together. That's pre-writing. We call it brainstorming sometimes too. You're just kind of collecting all your stuff, doing your research, grabbing your quotations, marking page numbers, all that stuff. Then you draft, right? You actually put the words on the page and get everything out. Now, the problem is that a lot of people stop there. They think that the draft is the final product, but it's usually not, right? A draft is just this kind of like sloppy, messy thing that it needs help still. So then you take your draft and you move on to a stage of revision. Revision is where you look at like top level big ideas, like, do I need to move paragraphs around? Does this even flow? Do my arguments make sense? What font did I use? It should be Times New Roman, really, unless you've been asked to use something else. Kind of looking at big stuff like, do I need to add something? Did I miss a really important counter argument, or did I even follow instructions for the assignment? Or those kinds of questions are revision. You might even call it rewriting. You're deleting things, you're adding things. That's revision. And then finally, after it's been revised, then you edit. And editing is where you're looking at like sentence level, grammatical errors, typos, mistakes, errors. You're kind of going through line by line and making sure that it's a polished, finished piece of writing that's submittable, publishable, ready to go out into the world. And you won't always catch everything. I read so much and I see typos and little errors and mistakes and things like that editors miss. And sure, maybe once in a while there's going to be something that slips through the cracks as a writer. But your goal should be to learn to use a process to create mostly polished and finished pieces. So every assignment is an opportunity to practice that. You want to practice the art of being able to create a finished, polished piece. So I really want you to do that for this class. You should really do that for every class, right? Not just submitting a draft, but submitting a nice, final, polished piece. And you do that by following your process, not 5, but 4 steps. Pre-writing, drafting, and then return to your draft and revise it. Chop it up, add things, make sure it flows, it's logical. You make sure it achieves the purpose of the piece. And then finally, editing, where you really go line by line and make sure that there's no typos. It's clean, it's ready, it's good to go. So there's three tips. There's three tips for you regarding MLA. Visually, I want to see things that visually look like MLA formatting. If that's in the rubric, if that's part of the assignment, aim for MLA. Make it generally look like MLA as best as you can. Visit the writing center if you need help. Get help, right? If you don't know your MLA formatting and you're in a 300, 400 level writing course, alarm bells should be going off, right? It's time to address that. It's time to take responsibility and make sure you get that down. So visiting the writing center is a great thing. Picking up the Little Seagull Handbook or a MLA reference guide is a good thing. And then finally, use a writing process so that you're not just submitting drafts. You're submitting nice, edited, revised, polished pieces where you've taken the time. It takes time. You got to use time management to make sure you go back and really look through line by line to make sure everything's ready to go. All right. That's that's what I've got for you. I hope that didn't sound too grumpy. I get a little bit grumpy about MLA, but not too grumpy. I want you to succeed, right? I want you to do well. What a shame if you wrote an amazing, beautiful short story or something and you submitted it to a journal, but the formatting was off, right? That's a problem. Or, what if you prepare an amazing resume, but then you typed your email address incorrectly, and so they have no way of getting back in touch with you. Those are real scenarios. Those are real things that happen, and you can prevent that by becoming a good process-oriented writer, by being a good editor of your own work, and being really careful, technically careful with the work that you're doing. All right. Good luck out there. Take care. I'm trying not to be like, I'm trying not to like preach upon you or anything like that. I really want to help you. I want you to do well, and I want you to get your MLA in check so that you can succeed. Good luck.